Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the September wrap-up, something new for this month. Instead of allowing myself to put the same unread book on multiple different TBRs from my TBR game, I am changing the rules so that any book that I do not read in a certain month that is on my TBR to be read that month will roll over into the next month and keep rolling over until I've read that book. The only caveat to that is if it rolls over 3 times, then I have to read the book in that third month or I have to unhaul it. So that's gonna make things a little bit interesting for me, but I just don't want to keep putting the same book on my TBR because that's not fun, and I don't know, it's come to my attention that that is not fun to watch. So we're gonna go ahead and try to roll over books. These ones will roll over. These ones will not, but I do have to read those by April. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling about that. We'll get to that in a little. I have so much to discuss because in September, we had my own TBR, my focus on reading the Brothers Karamazov. I launched a new book bingo game. Did I mention participating in Bookathon and Magical Readathon? So much going on. So I wrote everything down. We're going to go in order. Here we go. If you have not seen it yet, this is my book bingo game. This is not the pretty version because I have a black and white printer. I had to print it out in black and white. In the future, I might print or might go to like a local drugstore and get the colorful board printed. That would probably be ideal. But I just wanted to kind of go over with you what I did this month with book bingo. Some of these I have to wait until tomorrow to fill in, like the read every day one, and then hopefully I can do a face mask and an Instagram live sprint, and I'm sure I've fulfilled the 24-hour reading, but I just have to double check. Some of these will be filled in, but for right now I have a bingo here, and that's about it. I almost have a bingo there. I just need to do that calculation, and I almost have a bingo there. I just need to do a live sprint. But yeah, I think I did pretty well for this being a trial month, and I am really excited to design the board for October. That will be coming soon. The video should come out tomorrow, and then the official board will launch on October 1st. So you guys will be able to partake in that, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I have an idea for a special event that we might do in October. We shall see. That goes along with the book bingo board, but I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know about that when it gets closer to that possible event, if it happens. Books. Let's talk about what I read that fulfilled prompts on here. I pretty much used my regular TBR to fulfill all these prompts. The only one that I did not was to read the shortest book on my owned TBR, and for that I read Revolutionary Women from Colonist to Suffragist, and I loved this, gave it 5 stars. First of all, it's so pretty. It's adorable. It's a tiny little book. It was super fast. And it just shares the story of important American women or women who are important to American history in 2 pages for each woman. And I just think this book is amazing. My sister had given this to me a couple years ago for my birthday, and I'm so glad I read it because it was so good. So I was expecting it to be good, but I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. I was thinking maybe like a 4-star. But I read the whole thing in like 2 reading sprints. It took me a little longer because I had finished one book, started this in 1 sprint, and then finished this in the second sprint, like a 45-minute sprint or something like that. Overall 5 stars, and it will not be rolling over to October because I already read it. And then the only other possible deviation to my bingo board is I may finish Good Morning Good Life, because even though this is on my Magical Readathon and it's for a later on prompt down the novice path farther along than I currently am, I would really like to finish this up, and it would fulfill the prompt that's the word good in the title. And if I did that and an Instagram live sprint, I could have another bingo. and I would feel very happy about that. I'm probably not doing any rewards this month, but I might. I haven't decided yet. That is a possibility going to happen maybe tomorrow. Moving on to my brother's Karamazov update. You guys know I wanted to finish this in September, and I didn't quite finish it yet. I have about 200-ish pages to go. Pretty happy with that, actually. And the reason that I'm not pressing to finish it at the end of the month like I thought at the beginning of the month is because I actually have an entire week in the beginning of October before the Anna Karenina live show happens. Anna Karenina will be read in October and November, so I don't really have to rush through this, and I preferred instead to focus on my personal TBR and my readathons. But before we get to that, let me just give you a little bit of my thoughts. Going into this, I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I thought I was going to struggle a lot more than I have. Of course, there have been some parts that I didn't get, and I really value the live show information because I didn't see certain parts the way that other people saw them. And that's one thing that I love about reading this and then watching the live shows is it's enriching to hear someone else's perspective about the book, because it just brings up ideas, especially a book like this. It brings up the ideas that I never would have thought of and just makes the book reading experience that much better. So far, I'm thinking this will probably be a 4-star for me because I don't 100% get it on the first read through. I do, however, know that this is something I want to come back to and reread in the future, and probably will rate higher in the future once I have the understanding of what happened, and then I can go back and really appreciate all the little things in the book. And if you're curious, I am on page 742 out of 985, so 240-ish pages left to go. Let's go ahead and talk about my devotionals really quickly because most of them carry through more than 1 or 2 months. Kids Ministry That Nourishes, I'm continuing to read this. I'm loving it. I am, fun fact, going back to serving every week with the kids that I teach, so I will get through this book a little bit quicker than I have been. And at this point, I'm pretty much reading a chapter every week, but I might break it up a little bit. So then my Bible reading, I think I finished Job this month, but I may have finished that last month. I really don't remember. I know that this month I read Esther, I'm reading through Nehemiah, and as always, reading the Proverbs of the day every day. 5 stars always for the Bible. I did finish Rewriting Your Broken Story, and I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed taking section by section, so pretty much anytime a new heading would start, it would be that day's reading, and I would just read until the next heading, and I really enjoyed going through it that way because everything that I read each day was so deep and required a lot of thought. Expected it to be a 5-star, and it was. Then once I finished that, I started the 40 Days for Life devotional on September 22nd when 40 Days for Life started, and we'll be continuing this through October. I've kind of been struggling to connect with it until today because I had started it before, so I kind of knew the stories already until getting to this point. So now I'm looking forward to learning all the new stories and experiencing that, and all of them have like a Bible verse, or this one has a passage at the end and then a prayer, and I just think that that is so great to focus on during this 40 Days for Life campaign. And of course, our continued 2021 Fixing My Eyes on Jesus devotional. Still great, still enjoying it. I'm really proud of myself that I have stuck with this one a whole lot better than, what was the other one? Holiness, the Holiness devotional. Yeah, I'm actually on track to finish this one. And then I have successfully read the September excerpts of this Simple Abundance essay book. The only one that I have left is September 30th, which is tomorrow. This one's longer than some of the others. Oh, and there's a little, aw, that's so cute. I didn't know at the end They give you like ideas of stuff to make your month more enjoyable. That's so cute. I didn't see that until just now. What? Adorable. I have really enjoyed this, and I very well might continue reading this in October and just keep going with it because it's just been very timely for me. I wouldn't say 5-star. I don't connect with every entry in here. And I do find the fact that she mentions it being the 1990s all the time kind of, it makes it feel stuck to me. Like, I feel like she should have just left that out and it would have made it more timeless, because the principles that she talks about in this book are very timeless, and then she adds that timestamp in there that kind of makes it feel a little weird to me. But other than that, I really enjoy this, and it's just been very encouraging throughout the month. So I probably will continue this in October. Now, we're getting into the personal TBR that my TBR game picked. This month was crazy, but I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, not gonna lie, I'm disappointed that I didn't get as much Bookopolis-on and Magical Readathon reading done. I was sick for a week in September, so that really cut out a lot of reading time. I don't know about you guys, but I can't read when I'm sick. So I lost a whole week of enjoying the fun of Bookopolis-on. I do plan to continue playing on my own in October because why not? But anyway, let's get on to my personal TBR from my TBR. So I did have to choose 2 middle grades from my local library, and I have not succeeded at that because I've not been to the library yet. I might go tomorrow and I'll pick those up, but of course those 2 middle grade books will roll over into October and I need to read them then. So I already have 2 books picked out for my TBR in October. So that'll be great. For my free ebook, I tried to read Creative Courage, which I thought was going to be a book about like creativity and being brave to create things for yourself. It was actually more of a leadership book, which normally I would enjoy. However, I felt like the author started out talking about their own experiences in North Korea, and while that's very interesting, it kind of went on and I didn't really get the connection, and then there would be a really great point and then kind of go back into a long anecdote, and it just kind of it did not keep my attention whatsoever. I was really bored, unfortunately, which doesn't usually happen, especially not with a leadership book. So I ended up switching this out for Every Heart a Doorway. Every Heart a Doorway for me was a 5-star prediction, and I read the whole thing. I read it really fast. It's a short book. It's 176 pages on here. My favorite part was, of course, like the portal world and the mystery aspect to it. My least favorite part was the comments on, like, the sexual comments that just seemed very gratuitous to me. It didn't go with the story from my perspective at all. And I just didn't feel like it was necessary, so I did not enjoy that, especially for a book that I thought was targeted more for a younger audience. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just didn't enjoy that aspect of it. I loved that there's a situation going on in the story. I don't know if it's spoilers, so I'm not gonna say, but there's a situation going on, and I did not predict that the person responsible for the situation was the person responsible. I hope that makes sense. I did not predict that aspect, so I was surprised by that and kind of shocked, actually. I thought that the book ended very well. I like that it seems that the other books in the series do not go on with these character stories, because I really did not connect to these characters, and I'm curious to see if I would connect to some other characters in the series if I choose to continue the series. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite, and I did read a Goodreads comment that someone who really enjoyed the book but said it was almost like they were, like the author was like checking boxes with each of their types of characters, and that is exactly how I felt, and I just didn't feel like it was very realistic. I mean, I know the story in itself is not very realistic, but I didn't feel like it was a fair representation of people. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, overall, I gave it 3 stars, and I did put it through Cawpile just to be fair. I had 3 of my birthday books were picked by my TBR game, Fighting for Life, How Did I Get Here, and The Most Beautiful Disaster. I have finished one of these and am working through 2 of them that I'm pretty confident I can finish tomorrow if I don't have anything else that interrupts that. I finished How Did I Get Here, and I think it probably would be a 4-star for me. I really connected to the very beginning, and I think I need to take more time in revisiting it. Well, I love the cover. I love how small it is. It talks about a lot of stuff that I've been dealing with personally, and so I did really connect with that. I do think I would need to take more time with it in order to give it 5 stars. But I did really enjoy this. I love Christine Kane's speaking and her messages. I think this might have been the first book of hers that I'd read, although not the first one that I owned. So hopefully I'll read another one of hers here soon. But yeah, 4 stars overall, very much enjoyed it. And I think I was probably expecting it to be about a 4, so I was not disappointed whatsoever. And I'm pretty happy I finished that. Then both of these I have been thoroughly enjoying. I was expecting probably 4 stars for both, but I actually think both of them are going to be 5s. I have absolutely loved both. I'm just really enjoying these even more than I thought I would. Like, I knew they'd both be fantastic, but I didn't realize that they would be this fantastic. That they would exceed my expectations, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I started reading this and am flying through it, and I'm trying to just like slow down and enjoy it. I haven't read that much, but what I've read, I read super quickly, and this has been gripping since page 1. Highly recommend both of these, and I hope that I'll get to finish these tomorrow, because if I finish these and the Circle Maker, I will have read all my birthday books within 2 months of getting them, and that would be amazing. Not sure if it's gonna happen, but it's the goal. Lastly, from my TBR game, I did read the 100 Best Love Poems. I cannot remember if the heart box is 5-star predictions or just books that I wanted to read. If I did think this was a 5-star prediction, I was wrong, unfortunately. I give this 3 stars. There certainly were poems in here that I just absolutely loved and enjoyed. There were poems in here that I had memorized in school, so I enjoyed just kind of like skimming through them and like reciting them in my mind. And there were poems that I didn't understand, as is pretty typical with me and poetry to begin with. So 3 stars, but not a bad 3 stars, more like a 3.5, but you can't give half stars on Goodreads. It was fine. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it, and now it's not on my TBR anymore, so that's a good thing. Yeah. I feel like poetry books are, like poetry collection books are the kind of thing that I like to have. Not my favorite in the world, but I just think that they are something good and different to own in your library. Now, moving on to Bookoplathon. I only got to play Bookoplathon twice, but I had 3 rolls. I was playing Roll As You Go, I just did not get through very much. The first roll, I got I Am Malala. I gave I Am Malala 4 stars. There were parts of this that I was not enjoying, and I just kind of didn't really want to keep picking it up. Overall, in the end, very inspiring story. I love the value that she and her classmates put on education and how much they love school and learning. I felt like there were a lot of details in here. I enjoyed learning about her culture. At some points, it it was a lot because it's just completely different from anything I'd learned about before, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good to know about the way that different people grow up. But it was hard for me to get through at one point. Actually, yeah, at one point it was difficult for me to get through, but persevered, got through it. I'm very happy to say that I have read this book, and it was also my first prompt for Magical Readathon, so I fulfilled first prompt for Bookathon and Magical Readathon with I Am Malala. And then Fighting for Life was a Bookathon prompt, as well as being on my personal TBR. You already know what I think of this. I think it's going to be a 5-star. Highly recommend. The other Bookathon prompt that I rolled, since I was playing Roll As You Go, and I landed on doubles. The one prompt was a dark cover, which I read Fighting for Life, or am reading, and the other one I got the People prompt, and I chose Rival to the Queen, and I have not read this. I've started it. I'm on chapter 4. But I've been focusing on my other books because I really do want to finish my birthday books. But this will roll over, and I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't have to unhaul it because I do want to know what happens. I think this is a pretty good story so far. It was very gripping, the first chapter. You guys will see that in my reading vlog. Oh my goodness. The first chapter, my heart. I hope it continues to that extent throughout the book. The final book of this crazy TBR wrap-up. I'm losing my voice. Last book, The Circle Maker. This is my Ashthorn Tree for Magical Readathon, and I really want to finish it because I need to get through 2 books to complete the Novice Path for Magical Readathon. I am not quite halfway, and this is such a good book, but I don't necessarily want to rush through it, so I don't know. I'll do as much as I can in reading this tomorrow, and maybe even tonight as well. But I may jump ahead, which is breaking my own rules, but it's not breaking the Magical Readathon rules. I may jump ahead and finish Good Morning, Good Life, like I said before, and that way I'll have my 2 Magical Readathon prompts fulfilled and fulfill that space on my book bingo. So that may happen. We shall see. And with that craziness, I'll go ahead and just lift up these random books.
September TBR wrap up. Try not to break myself in half. That's not even everything. Can we just do this? I believe in myself. Alas.
All the books that I have read in September. I'm pretty proud of myself, not gonna lie. Even though I have not yet finished as many as I want to, this is pretty great. Let me go ahead and get a stack of the books that I have 100% finished. So that's everything right there. These are the books I finished in September. I'm pretty proud of myself, and I'll show you the books I'm hoping to finish. Give or take a few of these, but these are the books I'm hoping to finish. Rival to the Queen's down there because I doubt I'm going to get to it, but that one's included in this list. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. But with that, that is the wrap-up. I hope this wasn't all over the place, and I hope it made sense to you guys. Hopefully October's not as crazy. We're gonna hope for that, but not likely. You'll see what I have planned, and it's not likely to be any less confusing next month. But anyway, I'm gonna edit this crazy video and get it up for you guys. So I'm gonna stop talking now and go do that, and yeah. I'll see you guys next time with my October book bingo video. I hope you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. And I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.